13,
12,
12,
6 seconds.
11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off! Holy!
Damn!
Yeah!
Whoa!
Oh my god. That is so huge!
Integrity, AMP high. AMP high.
Wow. £10,000 of fuel a second.
Goodness.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding?
Yeah.
That is one of the most gorgeous launches I've ever seen in my entire life. That is the crew of Artemis 4 heading to the moon. Look at that glorious rocket flying, ascending, mostly powered right now under the power of those solid rocket
Through
boosters.
Mac 2 on, possibly on.
They've made it through maximum aerodynamic pressure.
They're now doing Mach 3.
Value the same.
All right, loud and clear communications, that's excellent. Those solid rocket boosters are still propelling this thing for another minute or so, pushing the core stage further and further and faster. You can just see it. You can see the trail behind it. It is absolutely glorious. You saw it roll when it took off the pad to line up on its azimuth and heading basically due east right now to be able to, and it's pitching over to be able to accelerate because it has to accelerate horizontally. It needs a lot of horizontal velocity to get into orbit.
They're doing Mach
And here it
8
goes. So
right
coming
now.
up, the next big milestone will be booster
They're
cutoff
up so
and
high,
booster
there's no more
jettison
air to
of
slow
the
them
massive
down.
solid rocket boosters. So we'll hopefully actually be able
In
to
a minute,
see
they're
that
going to get rid of their
from down
boosters
here
on the
even
side. Oh, they just
with our
got the
tracking
4
assets,
engines
and
underneath.
Here we go. That's going to be coming up here any second. And hopefully we hear that call out as
Get
well.
rid of them boosters. See you later, boosters.
Wow. That is SRB SEP 100%. Look at that. You can see the two solid rocket boosters now drifting away from the core, and now it's only powered by those 4 RS-25 rocket engines, continuing to push this thing into an elliptical orbit. This will actually burn all the way.
Integrity,
Oh, the little ones, they fall in the
guidance,
ocean and they go pick them up. They float.
LCS ready.
And they clean them up and they use them again.
Dad, are they in outer space yet?
Oh,
They're
we
right
love
on
to
the
hear it.
edge. They're
Everything is nominal.
130,000 feet right now, 150,000, 160,000, 170,000. They're going like 10,000 feet a second. Holy fucking
My
shit, 2
word.
miles a
That
second.
couldn't have gone better. So now this will continue to burn until about 8 minutes. They'll ride this thing for another 5 minutes. And that's going to put them into a highly elliptical orbit. It's going to be at about 2,000 kilometers in peak altitude, so 1,200 miles in altitude in an orbit. And that way, when they let go of the booster, the core stage, it's going to re-enter Earth's atmosphere and burn up intentionally so it doesn't become space junk. And they will have to raise their orbit and then start doing these progressive
There go their clamps.
orbit
There's a
raise
picture. They're in
maneuvers to be
outer
able to get
space.
out towards the moon, checking everything out, every system one at a time, including igniting the upper stage for a brief period to circularize
Those are the boosters
or to raise
falling
the
down.
orbit so it doesn't re-enter.
Houston integrity, good last Jensen, great view.
They just got rid of their big bottom
Copy
section.
Jensen, Eco 8+02.
I can't believe it. I can still see it.
And Houston has you loud and clear on Tigris at the Carmen line.
Whoa.
At the Carmen line, my friends.
That's the edge of space.
You can
They're
see
going
the
into
shadows
space.
of the exhaust plume. That is just the coolest thing. I can still see this with my bare eyes right now. Like, just completely clear as day. This is the clearest sky I've ever seen in a rocket launch, and it happens to be at the most important rocket launch of my life.
It takes 4 hours to
And I'm
get to
just
Florida.
standing
It took
here
them
able to
4
just
minutes to get to outer space.
Soak this in. This is a gift of all gifts. So thank you to everything in the world and everything in the universe that is lined up to make this just this absolutely beautiful moment.